Oh, and I thought I would make another video about the video gaming industry. RuneScape 3, as of September 2024, I mean, they just released a very weak looking boss in terms of gameplay. Like, you just mine. I mean, it's like really chill, so I would say, like, it's good. But at this point in my RuneScape career, I don't really care if you want to call it a RuneScape career. Like, that game has lost a lot of novelty. Granted, my medication really sucks. I feel like in Vega just causes you to make you lose interest in a lot, a lot of things. What hope is there for us mentally impaired people? Like, what kind of income can we make? And what hope is there? Like, I've been thinking lately about the bans that I've had. I've been banned from a coffee shop. I've been banned from a church. I've been banned from, like, so many places. Like, you don't know how to articulate. You don't know. You kind of become a public disruption when you're off medication as a mentally ill kind of person. And you say, like, how do you deal with, like, life? And it's just like, the amount of judgment you get. I think sometimes people might know that you're mentally ill. But it's just like, I don't know, like, is it a curse from God? I mean, I'm not going to say that much. I mean, I have delight in God regardless of, like, my mental health diagnosis. But obviously you wish that, like, your life was just healthy. But because of crime in America, you say, like, okay, well, life can't be healthy because criminals are looking to sabotage you. Like, they're using, they're reckless in attacking the innocent people. So what can you do? A whole life lived well, and then how do you not give that up in faith? That's my belief. How do you not give up tragedy in faith? Like, how do you blame? How do you try to justify? How do you try to calculate when things like that happen? And then you look at that fucking shitty ass pastor in Urbana-Champaign named Pastor Minchung or Joshua Minchung, the way he preaches and some of just his terrible teachings. And you look at Christianity. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on a tangent, but it's just like, you gotta have, like, a tough skin for life. How do you have kids? Like, for me at age 32, how do you find romance? Like, I feel like deep down the negative mindset is like, how is somebody like me ever gonna have a girl that really loves him or loves me for who I am? Like, I don't, these kind of things, it's just like, how would a female look at me and be like, you're the one for me? And how do you, like, give that up in a church setting? Like, just a lot of questions. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. Like, what society gives me in terms of Naperville, Illinois, population 150,000, what it gives me in terms of, like, okay, you have to work, but then after you work, you can buy an ice cream cone for, like, $10. Like, this kind of society doesn't make sense. So you say, like, and then on top of that, you say, like, okay, you couldn't, in central Illinois, you couldn't keep your college students safe. So there's a lot of protests. Like, I have the right to be upset. I'm like, Illinois is a state. It's like, or just, America as a country. Like, how do you justify what citizens are doing? There's a lot of Indian American people in Naperville. Just because they're smart and can make money, does that mean that their whole life should be spent one way or another? And then I think about that Korean pastor in college that laid hands on my head and said, I pray that some of you would make America great again. And now we're in the era of Trump, and I look at this fool of a pastor. I'm like, look, somebody's got to have a wise direction. There's a lot of, like, crazy people in church, so I personally choose to stay away from church now, especially in Korean culture. Korean culture is one of the most brainwashed cultures, I would say. But I don't know. It looks bleak. You could always go clubbing, you know, you could always tear that shit up. Yeah, I don't know, like, you know, even for me, when I think about the woman that I'm, like, attracted to or interested in, like, I don't know, it's just not, it doesn't get me excited, you know? There's not a whole lot going on. What will God do? God doesn't do shit. I mean, like, you have to understand your life is in its position as it is. You're stuck. You're fucking stuck as shit. God's not going to pull you out of, like, a hard situation, you know? You have to come up with your own fucking way of learning how to deal with shit, you know? There is no God in a lot of perspectives. Like, you have to understand so much of life, how godless it is. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, maybe me, I've lived a godless life, but, like, I'm just saying, like, okay, you go to the Bible, you know, like, this stuff, this practice, I don't even enjoy reading the Bible. I don't, anyway, I always talk about religion, but I thought I would just use YouTube to rant, and, like, yeah, I don't know, I need friends in my life at age 32. If I have kids one day I want to have my kids play with other kids and, like, my friends and their kids, you know? So it's like, then you look at, like, the Korean church you go to and you're like, wow, this is some weak-ass vibration kind of people. Like, people that just work 9 to 5, go to Costco, and go to sleep. That's their holy trinity, you know? So, man, suburb life, it's challenging. And you go to, like, the city. These are the times where the sermon seems to say, there is nothing good on this earth but Christ. Surely maybe Christ is going to make his appearance upon this earth that hungers and thirsts for the wrong kind of things. But even then, I don't know if I should proclaim Christ. Maybe I should just become a pastor. Who knows? That might be an idea.